Welcome back into the workshop for a wee bit of an update, and specifically an update on the dust extraction system, which has been mediocre to poor in relationship to or regards to the miter station or miter saw. A few days ago, I would not have even thought about having the dust extractor hooked up to the miter saw. That is a tool that hooks up to the table saw and the planer thicknesser. The miter saw, though, was causing me some angst, and out of desperation, out of curiosity, I stuck the pipe from the dust extractor right next to where I was cutting, and blow me down, the air took away, the airflow took all the dust, or majority of the dust away, and I'm thinking, that's interesting. So I went a little bit further, and like a lot of people in the workshop, we've built contraptions for the back of the fence of the miter saw to capture and extract the dust. And in the format, get my mouth working, in the format that I've got it really, really works well. I still have the dust extractor hooked up to the blade part of the extraction, but I've got the dust collector hooked up to that little plenum there that extracts everything else pretty much entirely. I'm going to say at least 95 plus 98%. I'm going to leave a few percent available because there is a little bit of dust on occasion. I thought then that maybe this would be better to upgrade or have it upgraded. This is a 1 horsepower motor, flows apparently about 500 to 600 cubic foot a minute, CFMs. And that being the case, if I upgraded, I could upgrade to a 2 horsepower motor, a filter, proper filter, because that's not, and a vortex cyclonic separator. Well, that would be a massive upgrade. Better extraction, better separation, better filtration. Yeah. 2 things against that. 1, it's a lot bigger than this by probably 2.5 times, takes up more floor space, which is a wee bit of a premium in this workshop now. And $1,500. Now, the $1,500 I could kind of rationalise and saying, well, it's part of the health and safety type of aspect of it, and we probably don't do enough in that regards for ourselves, where we might spend quite a bit of money on other things. So I could rationalise it, but the other side of it is it's $1,500. So we're going, ouch. The footprint is probably the big issue. So let's do a little bit of thinking. Now that'll come. Yeah, it's a bit of a worry. I've also thought about having the pipe work around the workshop like a lot of people do. I think that's not a bad idea. In fact, I think it's a good idea. And as such, where would I route it? And that was part of the problem when I started this thought process this morning. Ideally, I'd route it around the top, then drop down. Except my walls are occupied with stuff and cobwebs. Therefore, I need to drop it down low, or low enough that it just clears the bench height. I could drop it right down almost, but that's probably not a good idea for practical reasons, maybe. But hey, once you drop it down below bench height, it becomes academic, I suppose, where you put it, leaving the rest of the wall pretty much clear, which it is at the moment because things get pushed up against it. Anyway, so I was thinking about that, and then a few videos that I've been watching, one by Matthew Peach, and he's quite a character and good points that he brought up, and he showed in his workshop what he's done. And I'm going, I like where you've gone with that idea, matey. I have been thinking not dissimilar to that. And that is, and this is where I think it's an open question for me at the moment. What say we don't have this in the workshop at all? That's going to do a lot. I don't have it occupying space, so that's a space saving. I don't have the filter bag pushing out inferior filtration, so a lot of the dust that comes into the workshop comes through the bag, and when it cakes with dust, which it does do, it actually restricts the amount of air being able to be pushed through it, which drops the efficiency of this. Now, what Matthew did was he had his extraction system, be it a 2 horsepower extractor, but he had it outside, up high, but outside of his workshop. He had it exhausted. The exhaust port was also ducted again outside, because, the way it worked, you have to watch his video to understand that. But he had it exhausted out and directed into a box affair that was on the back of the trailer. And he made a couple of comments, and I've seen others, to be fair, say the same or similar thing. No filtration problems because it's not even in the workshop which you inhabit. So you get that out of the workshop, which most commercial joinery cabinet shops will have also. In fact, you'll drive past them and you'll see the big extraction systems outside, probably 2 or 3 stories high, and, waste containers underneath to take all the chip and dust, which gets trucked away because they make so much of it. So they don't have their filtration system in the workshop at all. And, of course, that's good for me, and no footprint being occupied by this at all. But also, Matthew didn't have a filter at all on his system, which meant his 2 horsepower motor was really, really efficient. And I'm wondering whether that would occur with this. Well, I know it would. That is the efficiency of the motor and the vane, the propeller, is diminished by having to force the air through that, whether it's clean or not. Taking that away will increase the efficiency because it doesn't have the restriction of the air going through the bag. Now, that needs to be taken with a grain of salt because it's possible that this setup is designed to have back pressure. And removing that back pressure could shorten the longevity of the motor. That's 25 years old, at least 25 years old. That's how long I've had it. So, and it's still going strong. Taking the restriction off, but if it increases the efficiency, I don't need to get that $1,500 extraction system. And if it's outside the workshop area, like where I'm sitting right now, the filtration system, etc., whether I have it or not, I don't need to have those fancy, expensive filters because it's outside the workshop. I'd probably still have a filtration system of some description because you really would want to, but because I don't have the situation like Matthew Peach had where it was being directed onto a contained area. So if I stuck this out the back there, the pipework could run through the wall, hook onto this, and, well, save space, save money, don't have a filter in the workshop to work or not work, and out the back there. And I'm thinking, where's the downside of that? A bit of fiddling. Well, downside is the storage area is actually, full. So I'm going to have to, but it might be such that I can empty it at some stage over the autumn or winter period. Something to work to. But in the meantime, I'm going to set up the pipework around the wall. It's cheap. Hook up that to it and see just what efficiency I can get with this. At the moment, I'm happy. If I had to put up with this in the workshop and using it in a similar layout as that, I would. It's that better. And any shortcomings that has, I'd live with. Not spending money, not having that even in the workshop, save space, not having pipe work to trip over, filtration system because it's outside the workshop. It's got a lot of pluses. And if I can increase the efficiency by not having the filter in the format that it is, so getting serious thought, that is. The dust collection will still have to be addressed, because the way Matthew had it, the stuff was just going straight out into the trailer. But I still have to collect it, and I still have to have some sort of filter, whether it's directly connected or whether it's remote in the little storage area. So that's the thoughts. Yeah. Something I had not even contemplated seriously 4 days ago. But yeah, once I saw the improvement of the dust collection there, I was convinced. And if you're wondering what these are all bits of pipe. I just dropped it the other day and broke it. But this is all pipe work that I've got, pieces from jobs I've done. This is stormwater, 90mm stormwater. Could be a pipe work I use here. This is an adapter that goes onto the stormwater, as you can see. Hang on, I'll just pull the other bit off. No, I won't. I'll pull the wrong bit off. But this other bit is an adapter, or can be used as an adapter, for going from 4-inch sanitary grade or sewer pipe to a 90mm, which is normally these two don't connect. Should never connect, not in the real world. But this is actually for picking up the dropper from the rainwater, the downpipe. But it just happens to be sized that a 4-inch 100mm pipe actually goes into it and fits really well. That has been scavenged off of a job I was on, and it's actually a rubber seal for going between a toilet pan and a 4-inch pipe. As is this. This is called an eccentric adapter, and quite often will get cast or will get set into a pipe, and the pan can go into this rubber seal. It just so happens that it works really well for 90mm pipe work and dust extractor and chip, what do you call it, chip? A planer thicknesser and table saw, because that's what I use. And this is why I've got them. So these combinations allow slotting on, so you don't need friction fit. Well, it is a friction fit, but it's rubber. But it can push onto the pipe work. And, like this could replace your magnetic coupler. The magnetic couplers are really nice. But hey, go down to the local merchants, plumbing merchants or one of your, hardware stores, and they'll have these. This one's an eccentric one. I'll get a non-eccentric one just to make it line up a little bit better. But these fittings, cobbled together, which they are, have been serving a lot of people very well over the years. So that's what I'm going to be making use of. 4-inch all the way round. It then gets reduced down at the last possible point to 90mm. Why 90mm? Because I've got 90mm. And it fits the other pieces of the system. Yeah, so there you go. That's it. Simple as. Quite happy about that. In the next few days, the coming days, I will look at what I'm doing and might just pop away and grab some pipe work just to see how it does actually work. Just have a dry fit sort of thing of it and see how it goes. And of course, there'll be a video. Like so many videos that are out there. Okay, that's what's going to happen. Right, I'll leave you with it, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye now.